evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Gleaner video podcast. Today we have as our special guest Lord Sebastian Coe, former British Member of Parliament and Olympic gold medalist. Welcome, Lord Coe.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
You are described in the IAF's athletics statistics book as the most elegant and fastest of your generation. Do you agree with that description?
I'm not sure about elegant. I was quite quick and enjoyed a lengthy career in the British team, but more importantly, I guess, enjoyed a career that made great friendships in sport all around the world.
You obviously were very talented. Why 800 meters and 1500? Why not football or tennis?
I think events choose you rather than you choose events, and I've always felt that people that go into track and field are probably more suited to individual effort. I enjoy watching football. I used to play it as a child, and I played basketball in a team as well, but the actual process of playing of being involved with track and field is something, I guess, that just suited my mentality.
Were you driven by world records? Did those matter to you, or were you driven by winning medals?
No, I think I was driven by wanting to be a better athlete this time next year than I currently was, and I think that's how most people in track and field relate to their sport. They want to continually improve, and if they improve season on season, then more often than not, it leaves you in a position to win medals. But I think the most important thing for athletes to focus on is not a medal or a title, but what is it they need to do to be a better athlete this time next year.
And at what age did you realize that you had a special talent?
I'm not really sure I recognised at any particular age. I won the English schools track and field championships when I was 15 or 16, and I guess that identifies that identifies you as being an athlete that's got potential, but nothing more at that stage. I then got into the junior international side when I was 18 and competed in the European Outdoor Junior Championships, and I nicked a medal there. So I think probably somewhere between 15 and 16, I realised that this was something I wanted to take seriously.
Who was your first coach?
I only ever had one coach. Throughout my career, it was my father. He started coaching me the day I got involved and interested in the sport, and we pretty much retired on the same day.
How important do you think coaching is to achieve success?
I think coaching is everything. There is a very simple rule. If you have a well-organized governing body, you have world-class coaches, and you have talented and motivated athletes, then by and large you will have a happy family. But the most important thing that particularly athletes at a younger age need is the experience of a coach that really can steer their career.
Your 2 Olympic gold medals came in what would have been considered your lesser event. Why was this? What did you do?
Well, the first occasion was the 800 metres in Moscow, and that was a very good example of not being properly mature as a competitor, both physically and probably as much mentally. And if you speak to any athlete that goes to an Olympic Games, however talented they are, it's a very big challenge. The Olympic Games is the largest sporting event in the world. The eyes of the world are on you, and it's much, much more than simply going off to a Zurich or a Brussels or one of the big track meets and only you stay there for a few more weeks. It's on a completely different planet, and I don't think I was fully prepared for that. And on the second occasion, I was beaten by somebody who was fitter, stronger, younger and faster than I was, Joachim Cruz from Brazil, and that's the way sport should be.
Let's go back to Moscow 1980 and Los Angeles 1984. Both suffered boycotts for political reasons. What's your view on What is your view on sports boycotts?
I dislike sports boycotts immensely because they never actually achieve what they set out to do. They are often, sport is often chosen because it's the cheapest of the options. Governments rarely ask other organisations, businesses, the cultural community to shoulder some of that burden. Sport is high profile and often thought of by politicians as the first resort. And although sport and politics have always been intertwined, because sport and they're both the stuff of life. Sport and politics, are important in people's lives. We shouldn't ever use sport in the front line of politics. Sport can do a great deal to bring communities together. It can help in conflicts, it can help locally in challenging communities, but it shouldn't be the front line of politics. You can't ask sport to do what the United Nations fails to do, and the only people that get damaged in this whole process are the people that we really don't spend enough time thinking about when we talk about boycotts, and those are the rights of the athletes to be able to compete.
How prepared is London now for 2012 games?
We are 4 years away and counting every day. We had the International Olympic Committee in town the other day and they gave us a good, clean bill of health. But I also know that this is a complex project and we have to make every day count. But we're making good progress.
And going back to the beginning, how hard was it to convince both the government and the people to support the bid to host the games?
There were moments when it was tough to make the case, but I think we were always very clear in London that we of course were bidding for 16 days of Olympic and Paralympic sport at the very highest level, but we also wanted the games to be used to regenerate a very poor part of East London, to use it to encourage more young people to take up sport, to use it to showcase the creativity and diversity of London and the tolerance of London and the United Kingdom. So we want to use the games to change lives, change attitudes and inspire people to do things they wouldn't normally do.
But how confident were you that London would have been successful?
No, I wasn't confident. We didn't start off particularly well, if I'm being honest. But when we decided what our vision was going to be, and the vision was to change the lives of young people, then I think we began to articulate that vision externally, because we had internally decided that we really understood what it stood for.